Gwen from Savannah Land 2. Today I'm sharing a process video for my latest Bible journaling page using the newest release of Paper Smooches dies. This is the prayers die, and I wanted to use it in Psalm 55:17, which says, "Evening and morning and at noon I utter my complaint and moan, and he hears my voice." It also says in another version, "Evening, morning, and noon I cry out in distress, and he hears my voice." One more, it says, "Evening and morning and noon I will pray and cry out loud, and he shall hear my voice." And I really like that David mentioned that he prayed evening, morning, and noon, praying throughout the day. I find that if I do pray that much, it's going to help me fight against the overwhelming evil of the world. I can focus on the Lord. I can stay in constant communication with Him, aligning my thoughts, my attitudes and needs, my wants with Him. I'd say this also allows me to confess my sin quicker because I'm in communication with Him, and I just have that tug at my heart when I have a bad attitude or when I don't do what I'm supposed to do, which is more often than I'd like to admit. But anyway, it allows me to praise Him more. I see Him in every moment of the day instead of just before meals and before bed or trying to remember throughout the day when I saw Him. So praying throughout the day is something I really want to get back into. And so I use this die to die cut the word pray. Now it says prayers, but it is separated, so I was allowed to use the word pray without any problems, and I really like that. So I've used the masking, I'm not even sure what this is, paper by Inkadinkadoo, and I've laid it out there several times, and now I'm going to pull out some of my new Distress inks. This is new to me. I don't use these hardly ever, never actually. Because they're new, but also because I just don't use Distress inks, so I wanted to see what this would do. I added my foam piece to the back, and now I'm going to blend it onto the page. I watched a video thinking I could do this, and it did not end up the way I wanted it to, so that was disappointing. It's probably not because of the product, it's definitely because of Savannah, but user error. But I think it turned out okay in the end. I don't know if you saw I had a little piece of sticker on me from my masking paper. That stuff is sticky, and it really works well if you ever want to mask anything and put ink down. Anyway, long story short, my inking was not, it was bad. It was bad. So this whole time, I'm not kidding, well, right there, I just ripped my new, what are those called? Blending tool foam pads or whatever. I just ripped it on, I don't know, too much strength, I guess. Anyway, the whole time I'm adding this ink, I'm trying to figure out what I can do to help it not look so blah. So I know Distress Oxide inks works, or reacts to water or something like that. So I tried a baby wipe, I tried spraying it, and then I decided I'm just going to make it into watercolor. When in doubt, watercolor around it, and it works out. So I think I saved the page with this watercolor technique. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I actually wanted to do this design where I masked it and masked the word, say that 10 times fast, masked the word pray like 5 times on the page. I wanted to do it in 1 Thessalonians 5:17. 16 to 18 it says, "Rejoice always, pray continually," etc. And so I wanted to do it there, but then I saw it in Psalm 55:17. But it also is in Daniel 6:10. He prayed 3 times giving thanks to God, so I really like that he added that to it. And then it's also in Acts 10:9-10. Peter does it. So praying helps maintain a correct priority throughout the day. So that's what I'm trying to do with this page, to remind myself to have a praying attitude. And so I wanted to make a black word that said always, there was a die cut from the Forever and Always set, and I really liked the negative piece of it. And right here I'm using the technique that I think Debbie Hughes shared. I have always cut all my pieces in my trimmer, and whoa, mind blown when I used a craft knife after seeing her do it. It totally helped me not ruin my piece. I think I have ruined so many pieces, it's not even funny. Anyway, thanks to Debbie or whoever shared that with me, but I pull out, because I'm having a hard time with the ink and the design, I'm not really sure what I want to do. I pull out my TikTok set, and unfortunately this is retired, but I wanted to use the clocks as part of this because it's praying throughout the day. So I pull out the kitty cat clock. It's like a retro kitty cat. Oh, it's so cute. And then I also pulled out a similar retro kind of clock, and I stamped it on gray paper. Now here I'm using one of the techniques I always use, and it's masking using just clear tape, and I'm cutting around the word hello because I just want to cut the face off. I'm going to fussy cut later, which is another technique I use. So I masked, man, that word is really messing me up today. I masked the hello, the face. I'm just gonna skip. Anyway, I did that, and I am now going to write on, well, I'm gonna fussy cut the cat out because I have to think. But I decided that I wanted to, instead of the word hello, I wanted to use that digital font look, and I wanted to make the word pray inside of the clock face. So that's what I'm gonna do next. And well, I like to clean in between. You know me, if I have a problem like with what I'm designing, or if I'm trying to think about it, I always clean up or I move on to something else. Like I was working on the word always, and now I'm over to the clocks. So that's how I work. But anyway, I first did it in pencil, and then I used an illustrated faith pen to rewrite it. And I really like how it looks. I added a little heart at the end and thought that was super cute. And now I'm going to fussy cut it out. Another fun technique. Before dies came out, that's what we did, was fussy cut, and I am still in love with it. I love fussy cutting. Ouch, I just cut myself with my little scissors. Not just now, but in the video, and I still feel how it hurt. Anyway, so now I'm fussy cutting my clock out, and I just love this little clock. I think this is going to come out together really well. So I'm going to use my new glue. This is for quilling, actually, and it has a little tip at the end, and I love it. But what I don't love is the clock. I think the white and the light gray look too close together, so I'm going to mask the stamp it again, and redraw it on black. So I'm stamping black on black. You can barely see it. And then I'm going to use white to do the word pray. I think that'll look better, so we'll see. Right here, I've done this several times in my videos, and I've mentioned it a couple of times, but I always wipe my blocks with Stays-On cleaner, and I use that on my stamps too. And then I use an alcohol swab to wipe my acrylic block clean. I am a neat freak, like 100%. So just a little tip from me to you if you are one to clean up after every stamping. You don't have to, but I prefer it. So anyway, when I have white ink, I try to use a white piece of paper scrap, and I push it down onto the paper so I don't smear it, because I don't like to wait. That's probably the next one I should do, is where I should wait patiently. I don't know if there's a Bible verse on that, but anyway. I'm finally ready to work on my page, and I pull out my die cut praise, and I'm looking around, and I don't really like how it looks. I think there's too much black. So I pull it back out, and I remove the letters, which I always save just in case I ever use them again. I did it in white, and then I did it in silver because I wasn't sure which one I liked. And I'm going to use the same technique that I used earlier from Debbie Hughes or whoever, to cut it using a craft knife. I always save all my pieces, which you just saw me do, and now I'm going to cut that piece. I'm telling you, that is a genius idea. Anyway, Sometimes I wish I had thought of stuff like that. Anyway, enough about me. I really like how the silver pops. It just adds a little bit. And I'm going to cover up one of my praise words, I should say, because I don't really like how it turned out. And it was too much. So I'm going to staple on always. Nope. I got to open it up and use a piece of foam underneath and staple it on. Hate when that happens, when you think it's going to work and it doesn't. But it's an easy fix, no worries. You just put something hard underneath it and then use a bone folder to push down your little staples. Easy. I do that a lot in a lot of my projects too, so it's not something I really don't like doing. I do it all the time. I'm going to add my cat, and I'm almost done. I pulled out one of the masking pieces because I liked the color of it, but I didn't like it plain, so I put it, I moved it a little bit on my white prayer word, and I liked how it added that little bit of dimension, so I think I'm going to add that to my page here in a bit, once I stop fussing with the layout of my clock. And that's pretty much the whole page, really. I'm going to add a bit of journaling at the end, but I wanted to talk a little bit while I'm working on some other things, that we can find comfort in knowing that God will do what he said. He will hear my voice. And that's at the end of the verse, verse 17. It says, evening and morning and noon, I utter my complaint and moan, and he hears my voice. So my prayers are heard. If they're little, if they're big, if they're long and short, just has to be from the heart. And he hears my prayers, and I know he will answer. It says in Isaiah 65:24, before they call, I will answer. While they're still speaking, I will hear. And that is who God is. He is my answer. And so that's why I wanted to do this verse as well. I might end up going back and doing this exact same design. Not exact, but like inking wise, using warm colors for one of the other ones, like 1 Thessalonians 5:17 or something like that. So anyway, I love that he will hear my voice. Something I don't like about this verse is the middle. I utter my complaint and moan. And honestly, I probably complain more than I give thanks. So that's something I want to work on. But even here, it says, I utter my complaint and moan, and he hears my voice. So I don't have to be nervous about always complaining. He knows my heart, and honestly, I am very thankful. I love to give thanks, and moaning and complaining, probably I do too much, but I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress, people. So anyway, I, like always, have to add just a little bit more. So I'm adding he hears me at the end with a couple of letters and I'm not even really sure what that little sticker is, but it's got stars on it, and I thought it would work really well because it was black and white. I stamped the date, and I stamped my little illustrated faith hashtag at the bottom, because that's what I do to every page. And there it is. I've added a little bit of journaling, but no, that's not it. I thought I was done, but I pulled out that extra watercoloring. I thought I had pulled out a watercolor paper, but I added it to some watercoloring paper by Ranger, and I dried it with my heat gun so that I could add a little bit more. These are the Paper Smooches new release pointers dies, and I really like how they look, and I think I'm going to just add 3 of them at the bottom of the page pointing to me, just to ground the page. And I really like how that looks, so that's what I'm going to do. I thought about adding more because I die cut more, but 3 is a good number. It draws your eye, really. So that's my page. I hope that you will use some Paper Smooches stamps and dies on your next project or Bible journaling page. Or maybe you will join in the fun with our Anything Goes July challenge. This is perfect for it because anything goes. Check the link above or in the description box below to play along. Please leave a comment below with a link to one of your creations or a link up to our Inspired by Virtual Smooches post. I'd love to check out your project. Thanks so much for watching.